So it's 8:07 and I was just about ready to go to the gym, but then I realized I didn't do my February or March flip through yet, and it's already April 11th. So I was like, okay, since I have time right now, I'll just film it and then I'll go to the gym. So to get started, I'll do my March flip through first, and then at the end of the video I'll do my February flip through, so keep watching if you want to see both of those. So if we start with my March calendar, this month I was really into, I guess I would say, neutral minimalist tones, which I feel like it is a recurring thing that I always really like, but this month it got kind of more extreme. Like, if you look at my calendar, I have absolutely no color on it except for white and beige, or brown, I guess you could say. And so the way that I formatted my calendar was I cut out a piece of grid paper and then I did my calendar on that, and then I pasted it into my book and I just wrote all my events and things like that. And then at the top of the page, I wrote my reminders for the month, like things that don't really have a specific due date, but that I wanted to at least get done within that month. And then if we move on to the next page, this is my collab spread. I will put her username on the side. I never know how to say people's usernames, and I always feel really like self-conscious, I guess you could say, when I say their usernames. But yeah, I collabed with her, and for this spread what we did was we just did a style swap. So if you go check out her Instagram, you can kind of see like if I did a good job of emulating her style, I guess. The spread itself I'm like not that happy with, because obviously like this isn't my style, so I feel like the spread itself is really good, it just doesn't really fit with my taste, you know. But yeah, I noticed that she has a lot of artwork and things like that, like classical art in her spreads, which I really liked, and I thought that it had a really good like aesthetic feel to it, so I tried to incorporate that. And then I did some fall tones, which are also not really my thing right now. Like right now I'm into just straight up neutral tones, so that's one thing that was kind of different. Yeah, next page. Sadly, this is kind of embarrassing. Like, I feel like whenever I do a flip through, I don't really pull through, you know, because I only have like 2 spreads for the whole month. Yeah, I haven't been that consistent, especially in March, because I got a job recently, and so because of that I don't really have that much time to be bullet journaling and things like that, especially since if you've been following me on my Instagram, you know that I've been posting on my story like I've been going to the gym every single day, which, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I've only been going for like 20 minutes a day, but like still, it's a lot of effort to go and come back and things like that, and I'm always super tired afterwards and I need to shower and things like that. So I haven't really had that much time to bullet journal. This month, it's April 10th, which is like almost halfway into the month, but I really want to start getting into it again because I really miss like that time with myself, you know, where I'm just kind of journaling and I have that quiet time. I just like went on a tangent for a little bit, but back to my spread. I really like this one. What I like about it is, I guess, the composition of it. I think the thing that really pulls it all together is this basket magazine cutout. I feel like it gives it a more modern feel, I guess, because of the texture of the paper and just like the fact that it's like an actual basket and not like a drawing or something like that. At the bottom of the page, I wrote down my work schedule for the week because that was something that had really been stressing me out, and it was really hard adjusting to this new schedule, so I felt that it was necessary to make a separate calendar. Yeah, and then just wrote down my homework and just like some I guess mini journal entries, you could call it. Yeah, and then, oh, hack. So if there's a logo that you really like, okay, this is what happened. So I was at this cafe that I really liked, and I had ordered a tea kind of thing from them. And I really liked the sticker logo that they had on the cup, so I was like, I'm gonna save this and then I'll put it in my bullet journal. But then I forgot about it, and then I ended up throwing the cup away, so then I was like really upset. So then I went all over the internet, and eventually I found a picture of their logo on the Facebook page. So I basically just kind of screenshotted that, and then I pasted it into a Google Doc, and then I printed it out. So that's how I got the logo. Anyways, that's just what I did. Yeah, and I think that's also something that kind of pulls the spread together, and I really like that. I'm also still doing my little font thing, you know. I wrote this form. So, you know, I feel like this isn't something that's particular to me, but a lot of bullet journalists, they always put like weird quotes or just like random words on their spreads that they just think of while they're bullet journaling. And for me, I think that while I was bullet journaling on this day, this form was talking about I kind of mentioned earlier about like the composition of the spread, just like the format, the layering, the layout, all of that, and it was kind of referring to that, and I think I really liked it while I was bullet journaling, so that's why I wrote this form. So now I'll just go through my February spreads really quickly since I didn't film a video for that last month. So my calendar, I really hated this calendar. So that's why I kind of made a completely new layout for March, because this February thing really was not working out for me. I think I had too much space. Giving myself literally the entire page to fill out a calendar was not really effective for me at all. And I didn't really like the colors that I used, like this green. It's kind of sickening when I look at it because it's just like, it's a very light and faded color, I feel like, so it just didn't look that good. Yeah, I don't really have anything much to say about this. This calendar was actually inspired by I don't know how to say this either. Gyu, Myun. We're really good friends. Like Janice, that's the owner of the account. I literally love her so much. I will put her username right here. Yeah, I'm gonna link all the accounts that I mentioned in the description box. But yeah, so I was inspired by her calendar. I did a really bad execution of it, so frankly, I don't think that is for me, and that's why I changed my calendar, and I really like what I did for March. So I repeated it kind of for April. I made my calendar even smaller for April because I just don't really like that look of not having a, you know, a filled in calendar, so I've been shrinking it down a little bit. February, my first spread for February, it looks nice. Yeah, I did this quote here saying, "What are you thankful for?" in bubble letters that I'm actually really proud of. I think they turned out super well. And then on the left here, I just wrote some songs that I was listening to while I bullet journal. So when I bullet journal, I have to listen to music. I just cannot do it if I'm not listening to music, but I have to listen to the right kind of music because I feel like the genre that I'm listening to is reflected in the spreads that I create, you know? Yeah, and then I just wrote a little bit more journal stuff, and then my homework. Okay, next page. Oh, this one is also a collaboration. It was done with Sleepy Tofu, right here. For this collab, it was my first collab because at that point in time, it hadn't been that long since I came back to Instagram. And like when I was on my old account, there was no such thing as collabing with other bullet journalists. Like that just wasn't a thing. So once I came back, my first collab was done with Sleepy Tofu. And what we did for this one was we picked 5 things that we needed to include in our spread. And then our spread could be like anything as long as we incorporated those 5 things. So the 5 things that we picked were fluffy bread, dried flowers, coffee, warm tones, and doodles. And honestly, I kind of failed very epically. I only included like 2 things and I kind of cheated my way through it. But I mean, I think that the spread in general is really cute. And to be honest, I feel like she might take it kind of offensively if I say this maybe. But I feel like my spread kind of emulated her style a little bit. Like, it just kind of seemed more her style than mine, which is really ironic because we didn't do a style swap. But I still really like how it turned out because I think that the colors are really pretty. I really admire accounts that have pastel tones, like very light, pretty colors. But I feel like when I do it, it just looks really childish, so that's why I stick with more neutral tones. But I feel like this spread was, like, I feel pretty satisfied by it. Actually, I also did a plan with me for this spread, and I guess I'll put that in this corner, that corner, I don't know. But yeah, you can go check that out if you want to. And then, oh, I skipped a page. Okay, that was the spread for February the 20th, but the one that I'm going to talk about now is for February the 5th. But whatever. The spread, so I've heard that when my friends have told me that when I bullet journal, I kind of make my spreads cluttered. Like, there's not really that much form to it, which I kind of agree with. Like, I think it's pretty fluid. But for my February 5th spread, it was really structured. Like, there's a lot of boxes and things like that, and I don't really know how I feel about that because I feel like it reduces the spread a little bit to something more simple. I don't know, it just doesn't feel as creative when I'm just putting everything in a box, you know? But I think that the colors work nicely together. I got some pictures off of Instagram. The one on the bottom left is from Simply Recipe, and then the one on the top right, I think it's from Ahyun. Yeah. And then I wrote another song that I was listening to while I was doing the spread called Intentions. Yeah, I don't know. But I think that's everything. Yeah, I need to start bullet journaling more because every month I can only come up with like 2 or 3 spreads, which I think is pretty disappointing. But at the same time, I've been a lot happier with my spreads, you know, because I think it's because when I had bullet journaled in the past, I would do it every week, and it was kind of like an obligation or a chore, and so I got burnt out pretty quickly, you know? It's like I have to come up with something new every week, and it's like, But now I just kind of do it whenever I feel like it or whenever I feel inspired, and I feel like that just makes it so that I always feel satisfied on some level with my spreads. So yeah, I don't know. Like, my habits of bullet journaling suck, but my satisfaction level is so much higher. So I don't know, I feel like that's just something that you need to find a balance for. Yeah, I mean, if for you bullet journaling is meant to be a practical thing, then of course doing it weekly is important. And if like your bullet journaling habits are more on the side of where you like have a certain format that all your spreads are in, you know, you have like a setup that you usually use, then I feel like it would be a better idea to be bullet journaling every week because you're using it for a much more practical purpose. But for me, it's more of like a creative outlet, and it's like it's a stress reliever, you know, something that I do when I feel like I need to. It's not necessarily like my agenda or anything like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will have another video for my April flip through if I have enough spreads, and that'll be up by like the end of April or the beginning of May. But I don't know, we'll see. I might combine April and May together. I don't know, we'll see. But thanks for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.